Our police chief, Daniel Hahn, joining us. And let's start with just your reaction to the DA's announcement today. Did you get any advance notice?
I got a few hours advance notice,
okay.
Yes. Well, and I've always known that today is not going to change certain things, regardless of what the district attorney's findings were. And the main thing is that the Clark family lost a loved one, a son, a grandson, a father, and regardless of what the decision was today, that wasn't going to bring him back. And I don't think any, at least me, can fully understand that the pain that they've been through. So first and foremost, I knew today wasn't going to drastically change that or bring somebody back, but it is another step in the process, so I'm thankful for that.
Well, you know that there's a lot of anger out there in the community, and really instead of summing up what people are saying, we want to bring the direct words from the head of Sacramento's Black Lives Matter group, and that's Tanya Faison. So here she is.
He needs to recommend that those officers are fired. You know, you're our first black police chief, and when you first became our chief, I felt sorry for you because this city kills a lot of people, and now it's on you. And, you know, he has a responsibility to the community. He always claims that he grew up in Oak Park and, you know, that he's lived this life to where he could relate to the community. Well, this is your opportunity to show us that you could relate to the community. You need to have those officers fired. You need to take a stand.
So what's your answer in terms of discipline, possibly firing them? I know there have been also calls just if they were going to stay with the department to never have them in that neighborhood again.
Well, the discipline is going to depend on the facts and the review, our review that comes after the district attorney and the attorney general. And that has to be based on our policy at the time and what they actually did. And so that's been my commitment from the very beginning. It hasn't changed just because today the district attorney released her findings. I've been committed to that from the beginning.
Okay, so we're just not to that place in the timeline at this point.
Correct. And we did the preliminary review, which is really an overview of our organizational performance on this incident, and that's where things like the body camera policy, or excuse me, the mute function of the body camera, our emergency order that we released shortly after, and then the foot pursuit policy, things like that. And then once we get through the district attorney's finding, and then soon, hopefully, the Attorney General's finding, then we'll be able to do the final review.
Have you talked to those two officers today after this announcement was made that they will not face criminal charges?
I have not talked to them after the decision today, no.
What have they told you up to this point? Or what have you told them?
Well, we've talked about procedure and things like that early on and what they would be doing. They haven't been back on the street since then, so I've talked to them about that. I know they're concerned. I mean, they've, you know, things like their wedding and things like that, so they're concerned about their well-being and their family's well-being.
When you say their wedding, I don't know that information.
Well, one of the officers got married a few months ago, and there were some folks that crashed his wedding.
Okay, so just concerns about his safety and his family's safety.
Correct.
And you know, there's a lot of anger right now being directed against all of your officers. So how do you deal with that? What do you tell all your officers?
Well, I mean, right now things are heightened, but they also have a lot of people that speak to them about appreciating them. But yeah, it's been tough. The protests have been very hectic and a lot of emotion. It's been going on for almost a year now. And but I think not only I definitely am proud of the way they've handled themselves, the officers in general, over these protests, but I think our community can be proud. We've seen things go differently in other places, and for the most part, the protests have been fairly mellow. There has been some violence and some property damage, but not on widespread scale. And at the same time, the officers have remained professional and haven't overreacted. And I think that's a lot of the reason why we've had the results we've had over the last month during these protests or demonstrations, that we haven't had anybody severely hurt or major property damage. And I think a lot of that is not the officers for sure, but also some community leaders that have stood in the gap and stood between various protesters or stood between the protesters and the officers. And so, you know, I was born and raised and lived my whole life in this community. I love this city. I love this police department. And I think it's Sacramento showing its true self over the last year on how we've handled these very emotional situations. And I look forward to how we're going to continue to improve as a city.
You mentioned that you also have people in the community who are thanking your officers, and I do think it's important that we don't paint any particular community with one broad brush, including demonstrators. We heard from one community leader earlier today, who was in tears thanking you and thanking the mayor for taking steps to change police policy in the wake of the shooting. It brings us to the protests. We see everyone from families with little kids protesting to people maybe from out of town who don't have great intentions. So what have you done in anticipation of this decision coming out today to keep people safe?
Well, I think as we're living in these moments over the last year, it's sometimes easy to forget some of the changes. And this department and this community has gone through tremendous amount of change over the last year and a half, from body cameras on every officer to releasing footage within 3 days to the release, like even today, of our timeline of the significant benchmarks during the investigation and our subsequent releasing of more information after the Attorney General is done. That's, as far as I know, that's never been done anywhere. And so it's great in terms of transparency, so the people that want to see the facts can go there and see it. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't get to the heart of this issue. And that's what we continue to need to work on. In terms of the protests, it's not lost on me that we get a lot of phone calls when protests go on of people saying, you should arrest everybody in the street. They're blocking me. I have to go pick up my kid or daycare or practice. And so at the same time, we have to weigh people's safety and people's right to speak, and what would it take to be able to do some of those things. At the same time, there's people on the other side saying every one of them need to be arrested. And so we have every incident commander on each one of those scenes has to weigh freedom of speech, all the rights of folks, plus how dangerous it would be to do something at that moment versus the safety of other people. And I think our department and our incident commanders on each one of those incidents have done a very good job of balancing that. At the same time, people are very angry a lot of times that they were stopped in the middle of the street. Right. But if the worst thing that happens is some people are inconvenienced and aren't injured, I think we're doing okay, but we will continue to weigh each one of those each time.
What kind of staffing do you have tonight, and what are you watching for at this point?
Well, as you know from doing this so long, we have to prepare for the worst case scenario and hope that it doesn't happen. And so we are prepared for, things that we've seen in other cities that we don't typically see in our city. And today we haven't seen that, and I hope moving forward we don't. But we're prepared for that, and we've been not only prepared from a law enforcement specific perspective, but we've been working a long time with community leaders in different neighborhoods, preparing for the moment that we're in right now. And I think, at least for today, I think it's paying off.
Okay. Chief Hahn, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you and the transparency that you've shown in doing a lot of these interviews. So thank you.